Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, Chick-fil-A has changed the recipe to one of their most popular menu items.
Also, did Tom Holland like it enough to put a ring on it?
All that and more on the way next. The Golden Globes were last night. Looks like The Brutalist did very well for movies. Won a few awards, and Shogun won a lot of the TV awards. But who cares about that? Let's talk about the real drama. Is Zendaya engaged?
Ooh.
She was on the red carpet last night sporting a sizable ring on what is typically known as the ring finger. So the question is, did she secretly get engaged to Tom Holland? And this is how we all get to find out. Or is it all a whole lot of nothing and she was just wearing a ring? What is your take?
I don't know. You know, they have been one of those couples that's like somewhat private about their relationship on like social media and in person. So they don't do a lot of like, paparazzi and stuff going out to places. There still are those times where they've been, seen together publicly and whatnot. They don't hide their relationship. But it just seems odd that it would just be like, she's like, hey, I'm on the red carpet and here's my engagement ring.
Yeah.
For everyone to see. So I don't know. It seems odd that's the way the news would come out, but I wouldn't put it past them to do something like quiet like that. Like, oh, are they, aren't they? We don't know.
Well, some say that like this person on X, they said they're very protective about their relationship. So would she actually wear the ring on the red carpet? But if you got engaged and you got a nice ring, would you take it? You would take it off? Come on.
That seems a little odd. But I do know some Hollywood celebrities do. They take their rings off, which I have always thought is odd because I just, if you're engaged, wear the ring. It goes with anything.
I guess she is an actor. So maybe if she just got in character and just was like, you're not engaged, take off the ring. A not engaged person wouldn't wear a ring. I don't know. But here's the thing, too. Why? Who wears a ring? There's so many other fingers to choose from. She could have put it on another finger.
That's the thing that got me of like, okay, well, if you aren't engaged, then why are you wearing what looks to be an engagement ring on your ring finger?
Yeah.
Why not wear it on the right hand?
Right. On any other finger on your left hand. Is there another kind of ring? Do you think it's a promise ring?
It could be.
Maybe it's a promise ring.
Could be a promise ring from, Tom Holland? Yeah, that's her boyfriend. So, yeah, it could be.
That's a big step for them. Some of the other highlights from the Golden Globes, your favorite movie, Wicked, Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Yeoh got up on stage and claimed that they don't understand Gen Z slang.
Okay.
Jeff Goldblum says that people keep calling him Zaddy, but he doesn't know what it means. Do you know what it means?
I don't know what Zaddy means.
Oh, it's just like a sexy daddy.
Oh.
Like a sexy man.
I mean, okay, yeah, Jeff Goldblum. All right.
And Michelle Yeoh says that she's confused by people saying that she's serving mother.
Oh.
Does that make sense to you?
I think I've heard that before.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just like the picture of femininity.
Femininity.
Yeah. So those are the highlights. If you didn't watch, now you know. That's everything that you need to know about the Golden Globes from last night. Let's do our Monday tradition, the box office breakdown. Looking at what made money and what didn't in theaters over the weekend. And you can let us know what you've seen lately at 8772-RadioU. I'll let you know. Not much to speak of at the box office just because... let's see. The highest ranking new release that came out this weekend came in at number 13.
Oh.
It made $800,000.
Oh.
So not a big. It came in behind Seven, the 2024 re-release of the movie Seven. Remember that one?
The original.
Like what's in the box?
Yeah.
That's how low the damn. That was the movie. Okay. Number one at the box office was Mufasa.
Okay.
The Lion King. It got to number one. It leapfrogged Sonic, making $23 million.
Mm-hmm.
That brings it to $168 million total.
I mean, a lot of kids are on, Christmas break, winter
Yeah.
break, or whatever. And so I'm sure a lot of families went to the movies to check out some of the kid films that are out right now.
Yeah, that tracks because Sonic still came in, Sonic 3 at number 2, just shy of Mufasa's mark with $21 million.
Okay, so very close.
And then Nosferatu was number 3 at the box office with $13 million. What have you seen
Not too
lately?
bad. I went to see Nosferatu, and it successfully, I think Robert Eggers successfully completes his campaign of hashtag make vampires scary again.
Oh, he did it, huh? It's too scary for me?
I don't know. I think you could handle it. He doesn't rely too heavily on jump scares, which I appreciate. I like the more cerebral, horror flicks. So it definitely is that. But yeah.
Thinking man's horror.
Yeah, it does have some scary moments, and you definitely feel like Nosferatu, or Count Orlok, is the epitome of evil itself. So it works as far as that goes. Bill Skarsgård, amazing. I was telling you off there, if no one told me he was playing Count Orlok, I would not have known, because they do such a good job of disguising him with this amazing costume and makeup and all of that, and also his voice. He does a great job of capturing a Transylvanian accent. I don't even know what that sounds like, but he does a good job at it, so he does well. William Dafoe is amazing in it. Nicholas Hoult is a great performance in there, and I say the winner of the whole film is Lily Rose Depp, because she just stole the whole show.
Jamie also saw Nosferatu. She says, very NSFW. I was not expecting that, but overall, it's a pretty good movie.
I would agree with Jamie on the NSFW part.
Susanna says, finally saw Oppenheimer, and I get the hype. Millions of awards now. Regret not seeing it in theaters. That would have been spectacular. Did you see Oppenheimer yet?
I have seen Oppenheimer, and I would agree it's quite a good film.
I went into, because I'm not always the biggest Christopher Nolan fan, and it's very long.
Yeah.
And just the subject matter, I was like, this could be really cool, but also it's 3 hours, and I could hate it.
Right.
And then I watched it. I was like, no, this is actually good.
It was so good.
That was one of the movies, though. I didn't watch it in theaters, and I watched it afterwards, all broken up into pieces. And I do think it was better that way. Okay. It was better than if I did have to sit through 3 hours straight. What I did not watch this weekend, though. What I did watch is, as promised, Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul.
Oh, yes.
On Netflix.
What'd you think?
It's funny.
Okay.
It's a good addition to the Wallace and Gromit lexicon.
So it lives up to the hype of that 100% it has on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean, if you think that 100% means 100% of people will give it a thumbs up, I find it hard to imagine somebody that watched that movie and not like it.
Okay.
But does that mean it's the best movie of
ever?
Yeah. It's right up there with Paddington 2. But I did like it a lot. There was some moments where the animation, because they used different styles, it felt like it didn't quite sync up to me. So It was a little jarring. But other than that, it was cool. I also watched Conclave, which is one of the awards nominees movies.
I think I saw that on my scroll on Amazon, or whatever.
You might be able to rent it. It's definitely on Peacock.
Okay.
I'm getting the last few little squeezes out of that orange before the price goes up. And I liked it a lot. It is a very thought-provoking movie. It doesn't sound like it's going to be very interesting because it's about a conclave where a bunch of cardinals get together and pick the next pope. But surprisingly, it's full of tension.
Okay.
You're always waiting for the next foot to drop. The score is great. The visuals are great. It's just a very visually interesting movie. It's very well acted with Ralph Fiennes and Stanley Tucci, I think, is in it.
Nice.
And I feel though, too, it's thought-provoking. It's better to not know. I don't want to give away any more of the plot because I just don't it's better to just go in with an open mind and just be ready. And it's not for everybody. Yeah. Because it is about a bunch of cardinals picking a pope. But it's much more exciting than that makes it sound.
Okay.
So I enjoyed that a lot. Let us know if you saw anything. 8772 RadioU. That's your box office breakdown. Are you like me in this regard? Do you ever get stuck behind somebody while you're driving? It's speed limit 45 and they're going 40.
Oh, I hate that.
And you get unreasonably upset based off of the circumstance. I mean, it's okay. They are going under the speed limit. That is annoying. But our reaction is usually why are they even allowed on the road?
Right.
They're going 5 miles under the speed limit.
We're like, the audacity.
And whenever that happens, I have to check myself and go, realistically, how much later are you going to get where you're going because they're going 5 miles under the speed limit?
Right.
And nobody gets that upset about somebody going over the speed limit 5 miles an hour.
No.
When it's, is there a big difference between the two?
I mean, one is slowing you down and the other one's not.
Yeah.
So I think that's the main issue.
When somebody blows by you on the highway, you're like, they're driving dangerous. But 5 miles over the speed limit, it's like you can't even tell.
Right. Well, I mean, I think we believe time is money. And so we buy into the whole thing of like, if you're delaying my time, you're costing me something.
Yeah.
So I think we get a lot more angry about when someone's driving slow in front of us and we get stuck behind them.
Now, when you think about it, this too, when you think about that person driving 5 miles under the speed limit, how do you picture them?
I don't think you do. I think you just picture a faceless person.
Oh, you don't picture... See, this might be just me, but I think most of us think it's some kind of like granny or whatever, like an older person.
Okay, yeah.
And then you think like they would be in more of a hurry. So like you know what I mean? Because like they have less time than we do. They're older. That's how I picture it. And then it's like, well, this is really stupid. This is really
so
dumb. This whole thing when you're going to get to where you were going 2 minutes later than you thought maybe at max. And depending on how long you follow them. It's ridiculous. Why do we get so upset about it? We shouldn't get so upset.
I don't know the logic behind it. I'm sure there's studies done on why road rage is so bad. But I've even fallen for it at times, and I feel like I'm pretty good at controlling my emotion. But for some reason in the car and on the highway or something like that, if it's just the right thing that happens, sometimes it'll set me off a little bit, and I'm like, geez, what's going on? You know? So some of that anger comes out.
I think we need some patience. I think we're all so used to, you're right, time is money, and we're all so used to have so much going on. And we feel like the most important thing we need to do is the next thing.
Right.
And they're delaying us getting to the next thing.
Right.
But just like when you just sit back and think about it, it's like, I'm still going to get where I need to go. I'm going to get there maybe a minute later.
Yeah.
It's really not slowing me down all that much. I just need to take a pill here. We need to do that in many instances in our lives where things get out of our control. The timeline doesn't match up with the timeline that we want. And then what's the worst case scenario? This person's going slow ahead of you. And so you do an unsafe pass, and then like things can get real bad real fast.
Right.
If you just were patient, everything would work out.
Yep.
We all need a little patience. Sometimes the timeline doesn't match up with what we want, but that doesn't mean the outcome isn't going to be just as good. God wants to help you with that. When you have a relationship with God, you know that the timeline it's following his timeline, and the outcome is going to be great because God is going to take care of you. It might not be on the timeline that you think it should go to, but that doesn't mean that the outcome isn't going to be the best. I think God can teach us a lot about patience, and hopefully that will help us when we're driving behind somebody that's going 5 miles under the speed limit, and more importantly, just in day-to-day life too, with the big plans and the big goals in life. If you want to experience that, start talking to God and let him show you what that means, what patience is about. Go to RadioU.com/free gift. You can find out more. I thought I'd never see the day when people would turn on Chick-fil-A.
Oh, no.
But it might be happening. Some Chick-fil-A longtime stands are now criticizing the company after they recently made a change that many of us may not have even noticed if we weren't diehard Chick-fil-A fans. But apparently, a few months ago, Chick-fil-A changed their waffle fry recipe.
Really?
This goes back to November of 2024, where they made a slight adjustment to the waffle fries recipe. They say, according to Chick-fil-A, it offers the same great taste while also making our waffle potato fries stay crispier longer. However, many are saying that, for example, a woman on TikTok named Daryl Ann Denner. She says she goes to Chick-fil-A all the time. Around November, she started realizing the difference in the fries. She used to order them. Even if she was only stopping by to get fries and a Diet Coke, she would get fries like every time she went. Now she does not order the fries anymore. She says they are now dry, grainy, and have no flavor anymore. However, I do have another person here who reviewed the new fry recipe and says that they are she says, low key, I love them. If you're watching this, Chick-fil-A, do not change them. So I didn't even realize. I went to Chick-fil-A in November around Thanksgiving. I didn't notice the fries were any different, but maybe that's just because I don't go often enough to have a something to compare them to.
Right. Yeah. I guess I don't eat there enough either because I have eaten at Chick-fil-A maybe once or twice since November and definitely didn't notice anything that was different with the fries. So maybe that's because I'm just dipping it in the Chick-fil-A sauce so much. But,
yeah. Seriously. I think Chick-fil-A, they could... I put so much Chick-fil-A sauce on the fries, it could be styrofoam, and I don't think I would notice.
Right.
But some are saying the ingredient that is making them so nasty to some people is pea starch.
Pea starch.
Yeah.
Okay. As in, like the vegetable, a pea?
Yes. What other kind of pea were you thinking of?
Not the good kind, but no, I'm joking. But yeah, that's I've never heard of that ingredient before. But anytime I hear the word starch, makes me think of potatoes or something like that. So I'm not surprised to see they're using something like that. Why would that make it worse? I guess
I don't know. To be fair, putting the word pea in my fries is not something I want there.
You don't want vegetables in your fries.
I don't want. They're supposed to be potatoes and oil and fat and salt and Chick-fil-A sauce. I don't know. I hadn't noticed. I think it's probably because we've been a couple months in and we're only now hearing people complain about it. I think there's just a few loud complainers, but most of us are probably just fine. The average Chick-fil-A fan that goes there once a month, we're probably just going to continue on being happy.
Right.
I don't think they're going to change their ways. Yesterday, the NFL regular season wrapped up in exciting fashion. I would say it was a little anticlimactic because the big thing I think we were all rooting for was the Bengals making it into the playoffs.
Right.
They did their part on Saturday, beating the Steelers. But then the Chiefs backups couldn't do their part against the Broncos. I don't know what the final score was, but they got blown out. So now we get Bills Broncos in the first round of the playoffs. Can't tell me it wouldn't be better to see Joe Burrow against Josh Allen than Bo Nix. You know what's crazy too? We thought this wouldn't happen. Even the Jets did their part. They beat the Dolphins. Aaron Rodgers got to 500 career passing touchdowns. Only 5 players have done that. They looked good yesterday.
They looked good to get their 5th win on the season.
Not good enough for Rex Ryan, who apparently will be interviewing for the Jets coaching job for some reason. He says, in response to a question, will Aaron Rodgers be back with the Jets? Rex Ryan says, no. You can let a guy walk out the door when he's not committed to the team. You can't tell me that hasn't been the case.
Wow.
Really, Rex Ryan? What makes you say that?
He's not making any friends with Aaron Rodgers, especially with deciding to say something like this super public. He's on like a national television show, ESPN, and he's just sharing this information before he may even be the coach of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe he's trying to do this to motivate Aaron Rodgers. Because if he is, Aaron Rodgers, I think it is true. Sometimes he needs some tough love.
Need a little reverse psychology.
Yeah. And so maybe that's what Rex Ryan is thinking here. What I'm thinking here as an Aaron Rodgers fan, though, and so vicariously a Jets fan, is that why are they interviewing Rex Ryan? What has he done? Besides TV, I know he used to be the coach of the Jets, and they did okay. And you know what? Give him credit, because the quarterback at the time was Mark Sanchez, who was no good.
Yeah.
But then he also flamed out with the Bills after that. So I don't know why. I mean, he hasn't coached in a decade at least. I don't know what makes the Jets think that he would be able to just all of a sudden come into the NFL and do anything worthwhile.
I don't think it's going to be a success story for the Jets if they choose Rex Ryan, but I also think, what is it going to hurt them to try something different,
But is it really different? Trying your same coach from 20 years ago?
I mean, it just, at this point, it's just like, you got to change something, because clearly what you're doing right now isn't working.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to go back to more nostalgic times. Is that Rex Ryan for the Jets? Apparently it is.
Why don't they just hire Joe Namath to coach the team? If you want to be nostalgic for the good old days.
Is he coaching?
No. He's alive as far as I know.
I believe he is.
That's about it. He wasn't even a coach. He was a quarterback. But
I know. I know who Joe Namath is, Hudson.
I mean, if we're just looking back in time, I feel like that's as good as an idea of bringing back Rex Ryan. The other guys that they're interviewing too, though, like they don't have a lot of good options.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound good. All I want is for Aaron Rodgers to come back. I almost feel like the Jets would be a good scenario if they just had a competent coach, and they did. Robert Saleh was fine. They fired him 5 games in for some reason.
Yeah.
The competent coach, and back in the early part of the season, a competent kicker. It's really killing them. And if they had that, they would be fine. They probably would be in the playoffs right now instead of the stupid Broncos. The Bills basically get a bye in the first round of the playoffs. I guess that's good for them. Pop quiz, Allie. What is the state bird of Florida?
Oh, I feel like it should be like an egret or something.
Maybe a flamingo, perhaps.
Is it a flamingo?
No.
Oh.
But it could be.
I mean, sure.
It could be one day if legislators have their way in Florida. This is a debate. I feel like it comes up annually.
Okay.
In the state of Florida. Many people might assume that Florida state bird would be something like a flamingo, something that's very unique to Florida.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a mockingbird. The northern mockingbird.
Really?
Is the state bird of Florida.
You would think it would at least be like a heron or like a crane or something that, wades in the water.
But it's not.
Okay.
It's a northern mockingbird. And the mockingbird has been the state bird of Florida since 1927.
Okay.
However, on Friday last week, Representative Jim Mooney in the Florida State Legislature filed legislation to replace the northern mockingbird with the American flamingo. This has come up before, and obviously it has never worked out. They also want to designate the Florida scrub jay as the state's official songbird.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was
They need to do
official
that.
songbirds now, too.
I think that they want to just be able to recognize all of the birds.
All the birds.
Except the northern mockingbird.
No, they hate that one.
What did the northern mockingbird do to deserve this?
Yeah, it seems like the northern mockingbird is getting the raw end of the deal here.
It's getting its name dragged through the mud for what? What did the mockingbird do to deserve this? Why
Right.
replace it?
Right.
What did it do wrong?
It mocked them too much.
Yeah, this is a mockery of the northern mockingbird and Florida in general, that they can't just make up their minds on this. And then they're going to go ahead and then the Florida scrub jay. How's that supposed to feel? You can't be the state bird. You can be the songbird.
Right.
If I was a scrub jay, I'd be insulted. I'd be like, that's like giving me a participation trophy.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing to me?
Right. Like, I don't want this. This is a disgrace.
Yeah. I threw it on the ground is what I would do if I was the Florida scrub. You take that state official song. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Georgia. Maybe they'll appreciate me more.
Fly myself up north.
Yeah. I don't like this all playing out. But it makes sense for Florida, but at the same time, again, the northern mockingbird, I just feel like, you've made it. Florida's a pretty good state, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good state. It's made it almost 100 years to where it is today with the northern mockingbird. Why change now?
Why upset the apple cart,
Yeah.
Right. Why?
Actually, maybe wait, we may have stumbled onto something.
Oh, no.
Maybe Florida is so good, they've solved all of their problems. And so their legislators are just looking for things to do. And they're like, what are we supposed to accomplish in this session? Poverty fixed, drug problems fixed, hurricane things. That never happens here.
Right.
How about we talk about the state bird?
How about we disgrace the mockingbird?
Disgrace the northern mockingbird. It's Fired or Hired on the Hudson Show, where we collect your workplace struggles, share them with the RadioU audience, and source some good advice for what may be able to help you out in your workplace situation. This one, a brief fired or hired, at least as far as what has been sent here, where someone says, I got a job offer today at a small nonprofit. Oh,
That's nice.
You mean like RadioU?
Yeah.
It's not RadioU.
Oh.
With a small staff. During the phone call, I was informed everyone eats lunch together.
Oh.
As part of the job offer phone call, they informed you that.
So important in their company culture that they informed you.
Yeah. I have always utilized my lunch breaks to relax by myself, to regroup during my shift. How do I go about this? I don't want to come off as antisocial, especially right away. All right. 8772 Radio U. We need some support for this person here. What do they do? They're starting a new job where everyone eats lunch together every day.
Kind of a non-traditional fired or hired, if you will. This is a like quit or go.
Yeah, that's right. Should you fire yourself from this job?
Quit or stay is probably what it actually should be, not quit or go. Because that's leaving both options.
8772 Radio U. Would you work at a job where everybody at the office ate lunch together every day? And furthermore, would you be okay with, like, how would you go about this?
Yeah.
We need some advice here. Regina says, I'd say have a few lunches together and say you'll need to take a few lunches to regroup, then join a few times a week.
Yeah. So compromise a little bit.
Yeah, meet in the middle. Lindsay says, I would ask if they'd cover therapy for my anxiety-induced panic attacks that are coming out of these lunches.
Oh, no.
But she said, definitely try the lunches and see how it goes at first.
Yeah.
I think the right approach is the first few times.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, see how it goes. Don't get upset about it.
Right.
Before you even give it a try. But like, if this was me, though, I would know full well I would not really probably want.
Yeah.
It depends how the rest of the workday is, though.
Right.
Because I've worked at jobs where, like, if it's more manual labor or whatever, like I worked at a greenhouse. And at the like everybody had their lunch break at the same time.
Yeah.
We're all working together, and then you all walk to the break room, heat up your lunch. There's a line for the microwave. And like you would be seen as weird if you went and ate in your car just so you could be away from everybody.
Right.
Then they'd be like, what's up with that guy? So I don't know if it's like that, you kind of have to go ahead.
Right.
But since it's a nonprofit, I feel like this is a desk job. You should be able to get alone time at your desk. Maybe just have a second break that nobody knows about.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not a terrible idea, I suppose. Dee also chimed in from Texas, and she said that lunches together is a norm when you have a job in education, which makes sense because they also have lunch breaks that line up.
Yeah.
So it seems like just depending on the job, you probably should anticipate that you will have lunch breaks with coworkers. I know in my previous job, had a situation where we all staggered our lunch breaks.
Yeah.
And that was mainly because we wanted someone to be available if someone came and rang the doorbell and needed help or something. And so we didn't want all of us to be, preoccupied or on our lunch break at the same time.
Right.
So there's places that do it differently everywhere.
Susanna says they might end up liking, like the person that's written in here, might end up liking to connect with everybody. And it shouldn't be a reason not to take the job. I agree with that.
Yeah.
You have to at least try it out. Otherwise, the job seems good. She says maybe find other ways to have peace and solitude in your days. She says before work ? I say second break while you're working that you don't tell anybody about. Embrace the community, because if there's one thing that we keep learning over time, it's that humans need built-in community. That's a good answer.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I think I'm with Susanna on that.
Yeah. What are you going to do? You say regroup on your lunch break. Does that mean just looking at your phone or like
more than
having to worry
likely
about
that's
it?
Probably what's going on. It's just like a little mind break, where you can shut off your brain for a little bit, which I get that it can be nice. But also, if you're missing out on those deeper relationships with coworkers, that can start to impact other aspects of your work life. Like if you're missing out on the conversations and the inside jokes and all of that stuff, you're going to feel left out when you're just working with these people.
And it's a small company, but at the same time, you still might wind up getting passed over for promotions and stuff if you don't have as good a relationship with other people as the other people do, because you're skipping out on lunches. That said, that's something you have to weigh. What's more important to you? Getting promotions, advancing in the company, whatever, or having every day be a day that you don't like dread going to lunch.
Right.
I would say take the lunch breaks at first, see how it goes, and feel it out.
Yeah.
And find a reason to get out of it. Like you have to take a call or whatever. It's something like that. Find a reason to get out of it before it becomes, again, what we said on the show earlier, before it becomes weird to not be at lunch.
Yeah.
Like before they start going, well, it's weird that for you to just cut it off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You don't want to be the odd man out. Because it may be a small nonprofit, but people are going to be talking about you if you don't show up to the lunch.
Yeah, exactly. Happy Monday. Or is it? This is the first Monday in January, which is known to some as Divorce Day.
Ooh.
This is one of the biggest days of the year for divorce, the first Monday in January every year, unfortunately. Now, they say that not only do divorce filings skyrocket in January, they particularly get very high the first Monday in January. And some attribute this to the fact that as a couple, if you're going through the holidays, once you're already together during the holidays, you're like, well, let's try to stick this out.
Make it through.
Yeah, you don't want to start a divorce proceedings right before Christmas.
Yeah.
Whether you have kids or whatever, like that's just gonna put a whole dark cloud over everything. So you're like, we can pretend at least, fake it until after Christmas, after New Year's. And then we'll get things going. And maybe for some, it's kind of a New Year's resolution of sorts.
Ooh.
Where they're like, this year, we're going to be happier. Because I'm going to leave you is maybe how some see it.
Yes. It's not surprising. The New Year is when you kind of reevaluate your life and things. So your relationships. So it's not surprising that the turn of the new year brings around changes like these.
Yeah. Another thing too that you add in when you think about like making it through Christmas is obviously for many people, it brings on a lot of money troubles as well, whether it's like traveling, that the bills can add up for that and all the gifts you got to buy.
Financial stress.
Yeah. And obviously that's one of the top reasons that marriages end is finances, and Christmas puts a lot of stress on that. So here we are on Divorce Day.
Here we have found ourselves
where
on
it all
Divorce
comes
Day.
to a head. But if you want to take a positive view of it, if you're in a relationship and you made it to today and you can make it through today, then like it's all uphill. It's all downhill from here, right? Until next Christmas.
It's one of those things where me and my friends, we used to joke about, when you made it to 20, you'd be like, we survived teen pregnancy. But that's, if you make it past this day, you're in a good spot, I guess.
You got to make a choice today. It's either end it or you got to make it to Valentine's Day. That's the next milestone.
All right. And surely you will not be the terrible person that breaks up on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, no,
that's terrible.
There's no breaking up between now and Valentine's Day, I think.
Yeah, it has to be after.
That should be off the table. It's either today or February 18th.
Right. If a lawyer or a judge or whatever receives these divorce proceedings paperwork on Valentine's Day, they just need to throw them out.
They'll ignore them.
Yep.
They will ignore them, but I am worried now for all the people that, are in relationships and maybe they're like, things are pretty good, but, oh, wait, it's Divorce Day. Maybe I should be worried. Just want you to have that in the back of your mind.
Don't divorce because Hudson said it's Divorce Day.
No, but you could be nervous that maybe, are things as good as I thought? What if I come home and I'm being, we've got papers.
You get all anxious now? That's definitely our fault.
As if Monday wasn't bad enough. We love movies here on the Hudson Show. And at least speaking for myself, we love going to the movies. As much fun as it is to sit at home and watch things on the comfort of your couch or your bed, there's also something special about heading to your local theater and seeing it on the big screen, which is why I'm very excited about this promotion. Cinemark Theaters, one of the biggest theater chains in the United States, has announced that on Sunday, January 19th, that's National Popcorn Day. Mm-hmm. They're having Bring Your Own Bucket Day.
Oh.
You can bring any clean container that's under 400 ounces and get it filled with popcorn for $5.
Wow.
That seems like a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Now the tickets are probably still like $26 for the movie. So, and don't even get a soda. Forget about that, or a slushie, because that will be over $100 before you know it.
Yeah.
But $5 for a giant popcorn in whatever container you want. What container would you bring?
I do have some massive bowls. I don't know about the whole 400 ounces thing. I'd have to figure that out.
Uh-huh.
But
They say that's the size of 2 extra large popcorns.
Okay, I think I could make it work with the bowls I have, but I feel like that's not creative enough. You know what I mean? I need something more creative than what my mind goes to, which is the bowls I have in my own home.
Yeah. No, you got to get, I don't know why my mind, and I don't have this, nor would it be clean, but my mind keeps going to a boot. I feel like you wouldn't even be able to fit a lot of popcorn in a boot.
That'd be the equivalent of a small popcorn, which always feels like a ripoff now at a movie theater.
Maybe like a hockey ice skate.
A hockey ice skate.
An ice skate.
Okay.
Is why I don't know why I keep going to footwear.
Like, that doesn't seem like they would allow it with this whole clean stipulation.
Yeah, it's relative. By the way, 400 ounces is about 3 1/8 gallons.
Oh, okay.
Imagine that. That's a lot of popcorn.
That is a lot of popcorn.
I would probably barely be able to finish that.
They got to be making popcorn like a whole lot that day.
Yes, they should.
I don't even know what the best way to say it is, but they just got to be making a lot of popcorn that day.
Well, I think they throw out a lot at the end of the day on a normal day.
Yeah, that's true. Although there have been some times when I'm like, this is clearly the popcorn from yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. They don't even throw it out.
They didn't even throw it out. But I will say, I was thinking about, we were talking about the box office breakdown. I was thinking about maybe going to see Nosferatu again.
Again?
Maybe this gives
There's
me...
so many other movies that you could see for the first time.
I know, but I kind of want to watch it again. But maybe this gives me an excuse so I can take some weird bucket thing with me.
Yeah.
I just don't know what yet.
We got to work on this. You know what else I thought of? And again, this would just not be getting your money's worth, but like a baseball helmet.
That would be kind of fun.
But that'd be better for nachos or ice cream.
Or ice cream, which does happen at the ballpark.
Yeah, not as much for popcorn. I don't know. We got to think about this.
Yeah.
Maybe like a backpack. Maybe you can fit a lot in there.
You have like an insulated backpack.
Or like a small garbage bag. Because the big ones are probably over for you. I mean, you can fit more than 3 things of milk in there. So the big ones are too big.
A little too big.
Yeah.
Maybe a gallon jug or whatever that you just take the top of it off. You just saw it off.
I think you're talking about making a bird feeder. You saw off the top of a milk gallon jug and you fill it with popcorn. That's for birds. Airbnb. Tell me if you think this list of rules for this Airbnb in Australia goes too far. First of all, the guests that stay at this Airbnb are not charged with a security deposit, but you are responsible for any costs incurred as far as damage to the property goes. That's fair. That doesn't go too far, right?
Seems like it.
We start off okay. Also, no cleaning fee for the property.
Okay.
If you clean up after yourself, you don't have to pay any extra.
Okay.
However, there is a $120 charge no matter whether you don't wash up, don't empty the dishwasher, leave any mess inside or outside, or don't clean the grill to perfection. No matter what level of uncleanliness you leave the Airbnb in, that's $120.
Wow.
That feels like that escalated quickly.
That does.
This one, though, might take the cake to me, and that is towels are provided, but if you use any towels that aren't put out on display, so, there's like a towel cabinet. If you take any towels out of the towel cabinet and use them, even if it's only one, you're charged $60 for using extra towels. They're there for you, but be prepared to pay $60.
So basically it's like like one of those things, the little fridges in the hotel room.
Yeah.
Where if you take a drink out, it's like suddenly you have to pay $10 for that Coca-Cola you just got.
Exactly. They also say that you're charged an extra $30 if you use too many trash bags.
What? That's just so awful. Like, at that point, this Airbnb host should just be charging the extra fees so that they don't look so bad. Like, this makes them look like a terrible host.
When I see this, even if, like, it just would make me I would walk right out because I wouldn't want the pressure.
Right.
And I would think, even if I clean this up to my satisfaction, what I think they want.
Right.
How can I be sure that I clean the grill the way that they want it to be cleaned?
Exactly. You'd be super anxious that you're just going to suddenly get all these extra charges to your account. Mm-hmm. But also, I would wonder if this Airbnb host is getting bad reviews. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, you may be doing this and you may be charging these people that come and visit your house or whatever and stay in your Airbnb. But if they don't follow your rules and then you charge them more, but your rules are absolutely ridiculous with this whole, like, you can't use extra towels thing, wouldn't they be leaving, like, bad reviews on Airbnb? Like, who's staying at this house?
Yeah. No, I think most people would be scared away.
Right.
Pretty quickly. And, the thing with Airbnb, and I'm sure there's plenty of great hosts out there, it does seem to me to add up a little more than just staying at a hotel, even if the Airbnb sometimes can be a little more comfortable. But when you see stories like this, I watch enough, like, hotel shows to know that this is this flies directly in the face of what you're supposed to do if you're like a host.
Right.
Hotels are supposed to make you comfortable, to make you feel like, at ease. And this is the opposite of that.
Right.
So why would anybody want to take a vacation and have this on their mind the entire time?
Right. Why would you willingly want to put yourself in a very anxious, uncomfortable situation where you're worried that you're going to get charged more because you just didn't do enough chores on your vacation?
Maybe this is a bad attitude to have, but, like, one of my favorite things is going to a hotel and knowing that I can leave my towels everywhere, turn the thermostat to whatever I want, and not have to worry about the bill or whatever because it's just all included, and I can be as much of a slob as I really want. I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but we did experience the passing of a very famous individual recently, and that is Perry the Donkey. That might not be a name that sounds familiar to you, but Perry, trust me, was a celebrity. Perry the Donkey is the donkey that was used as inspiration for none other than Donkey in the Shrek movies.
Wow.
Yeah, he must have been a character, that Perry.
He must have been.
I didn't realize this, but there was obviously Eddie Murphy's character Donkey in the Shrek movies wasn't just modeled after donkeys in general. He was modeled after a specific donkey. That donkey was Perry, who lived at a farm in Palo Alto, California, passed away last week at the age of 30 years old. I didn't know donkeys live that long.
I did not either. That seems pretty incredible.
I guess I didn't know. If you made me guess how long do donkeys live, I just wouldn't have had a good number in my mind. I don't know. Is 30 like actually on the shorter end, the longer end? I really have no idea.
Right. I'm not sure what the average lifespan is for the donkey, so I don't know. But
nevertheless, Perry the Donkey, we've got to give him his flowers here and just recognize Perry, because you think about the donkeys in history that have made an impact. He's up there.
Yeah.
Probably with like the one that Mary rode. Like probably a close, like, second. A definite second.
I don't know if it'd be close.
Yeah, maybe not close.
Because I feel like that donkey's been popular for a long time.
Yeah.
Portrayed in many a church production and movie and show. But
carried our Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
So, but
pretty big deal.
This is a second place.
Yeah, second place to Perry.
But at the same time, we don't know what that donkey's name was.
Oh.
We know this one is named Perry.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But if you're trying to come up with another famous donkey, who would it be? That means Perry has to be second.
I was going to say, I don't know.
Perry must be second.
I feel like, isn't there a song that's like Don Quixote or something like that?
There's a Christmas song, Dominic the Donkey.
Dominic the Donkey, yeah. But is that referring to the donkey that carried the Lord and Savior?
No.
No?
But
I haven't heard that song, I guess.
He also fictional as far as I know, Dominic the Donkey. So I don't know if he counts.
Yeah, can't count if they're not real.
All right. Anyways, Perry, we appreciate you and all you did. Thank you for giving us a great character and giving Eddie Murphy the role of a lifetime.
Yes. Rest in peace, Perry.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.